Christchurch chats. So this week, I've just got back from emptying out the swimming pool. It's been a lovely day, hasn't it, for those of us?
Yes.
I haven't been working, so I'm a vicar, you know. But it's been a lovely day. So today we're going to be talking about, answering the question, who is your favourite character in the Bible? That took ages to get out, didn't it? Well, let's get a bit more professional next time, innit? So who is your favourite character in the Bible and why? So, Paul, we'll start with you, because it can't be Jeremy Corbyn, can it? Because he's not in the Bible.
I didn't vote.
All right, yeah.
I've thought long and hard about this, and there's two answers. The first one isn't actually in the Bible, really, I suppose. It's the young growing up Jesus, who was killing all his tutors and blinding lads for dobbing him in for working on the Sabbath. That was really good. I would love to have met him. But putting a slant on it, I would love to have a big lads' night out. Yeah. With Daniel, you could come as well.
Right, all right.
Ezekiel.
Yeah.
John, who wrote Revelation.
All right, yeah.
The three of us, and we'd also take Balaam and his donkey as well, or Balaam and his donkey.
All right, yeah. Who's Balaam and his donkey? Explain to people.
Well,
I'm
Balaam and his donkey.
With that.
Balaam was a prophet, but he couldn't speak directly to God. He had to go through his donkey, and the donkey spoke to God.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can imagine what a night that would be. Hey, Ezekiel, look at that chariot with burning wheels and water fountains. Oh, hang on, it's a car. Behal, get a pint in. Hey, Balaam, just ask the donkey to ask God.
So you like the mad stuff then? You like the mad? You like the apocryphal, the apocalyptic stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's off the wall stuff, and it just makes you think, doesn't it? But what a lads' night that'd be. Curry at the end of the night.
It would be. I like the apocalyptic stuff. Yeah. You know, it's probably because I'm a metal fan, but I like it because the whole point of the stuff like Ezekiel and Daniel and Balaam's donkey and all that stuff, the whole point of it is to say that God is always beyond us, isn't it? And it's to say that these cataclysms they're talking about and all these sorts of other things that are happening are always beyond us. And I think as well is that, you know, if you're living in a time of utter upheaval, and we live very comfortable lives, isn't it? We find it almost impossible to get that. But when your life is sort of in a place of upheaval, it suddenly makes a whole lot more sense, really. But yeah, I enjoy Balaam. I have to do something on the Silly Vicar show now about Balaam's donkey. Thank you for that. Right, Jill, have you got something a bit more sane?
Yes, Ruth.
Excellent. I don't know why we ask him on. All right, yeah. It just causes trouble. Right, yeah. Next one.
Yeah, Ruth, who they've written a little book about her. She was a Moabitess, and she moved from Moab with her mother-in-law.
On a donkey.
No donkey, no. So she came from her society that she knew really well. So it'd be like, for example, somebody from North Korea moving over to Britain. Oof. And that's a bit, and that's so brave of her. And the things that she did, I mean, she went out gleaning in the fields, which I don't think was a particularly safe thing to do. But Boaz, good old Boaz, made sure she was okay. And then there was this point where she had to go, Naomi, her mother-in-law said, because they were at the end of the harvest, so there wouldn't be any more food. She said, well, you know, go and meet with Boaz on the threshing floor tonight. And she did. And she could have lost everything, but good old Boaz accepted her, and, you know, she became was it a great-grandmother to King David or something like that? Yeah, so she had quite an important part in history. But I think just for an ordinary woman to do that, all those difficult things, to put herself out there.
It's great, Ruth, especially as well, because it shows that all about welcome and openness, and the other thing is about it as well, it's a bit romantic as well, isn't it? And,
yes.
Yeah, it's just a deeply human story, isn't it, really? I love that one. Yeah. Right. Alison, have you got anybody?
Yes, Mary Magdalene.
Oh, see that coming. Yeah. Go on then. It's better than a donkey, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Definitely. Her courage. She must have known all these men and how they thought about her. She must have been a pretty sparkly sort of character, and she has the courage to bathe Jesus' feet, anointing him with all the ointment, and everybody's sort of looking and tut-tutting all around. And it's just marvellous because she decided to blow how they felt. She was giving love because she felt loved. And how many teenagers or how many people have just felt so used, abused, and they look at her and think, she knew she was loved and she changed. I admire her courage.
Yeah, she's and as well, Mary Magdalene is the first person to see the risen Jesus. So and is the only person in a lot of the times in the gospel is the only person who knows what's going on, because my Emma pointed this out at some length to me the other day. Is it in the Gospels, it's the women who know what's going on, and the blokes are all clueless.
Yes.
And I turned around and I said, that's a theme throughout the scriptures, that the women always know what's going on, and the blokes are usually clueless. So that's always quite interesting.
Yes.
Hazel.
Well, I was going to talk about Mary.
Oh, yeah.
Because she had a hard life, really, didn't she?
Mary, the mother of Jesus.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to talk about her. But then I thought, no, I'll talk about Noah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Poor Noah. Well, not poor Noah, actually, because God said to him, you've got to build a great big boat. And because he's going to kill everybody else. Right? So it isn't poor Noah, really, is it? Because he's going to go on the boat, so he'll be all right. And he's got to build this massive big boat. And he's 600 years old, for starters.
The clue there is that it's actually a mythological story, isn't it? There's a clue in that, yeah. There's a clue in that, yeah.
He's got to spoil it, hasn't he?
Sorry.
I was going to say that at the end.
All right, sorry.
It all now. I wish I'd bothered with Mary now.
Sorry, carry on. Ignore the vicar. Sorry, you were saying about Noah building the boat. Yeah.
So he had to build this massive big boat, considering his age.
Yeah.
Right? And he had to do it all, and his neighbours would be coming around and say, what are you doing, Noah? And he couldn't say, well, I'm building a big boat because you're going to die. Could he? You know, he's had to be so clever in what he's been thinking all the time. He's been building this boat. And then he didn't have to collect the animals and that because God sent them 2 by 2. But he still had to look after them all. You imagine all that time? How long was it?
It was 40 days and 40 nights he was on the ark. Yeah,
Very smelly.
Yeah, very smelly. Yeah.
I thought it was longer than that by the time they got to dry land.
It's probably a bit longer, yeah. I can't remember now.
At least he had 2 donkeys.
Yeah, he had 2 donkeys.
Yeah, but you imagine feeding all these animals and birds and everything.
Yeah.
And the extras for what they got to have for sacrifices. They got to have them because they got to bring them back, haven't they, to sacrifice at the end. So, you imagine how many there is. It'd take you all day to do them, wouldn't it? And then you got to start again. So he had hard times. I just think that considering his age, he did well. That's it.
He did.
Well, I suppose the story with Noah is...
He's going to bust it all now.
I don't know. The story with Noah is interesting because it's sort of like a story for today is that we're being warned all the time about things like, global warming and what have you, and the flood is coming. We never listen. So we're a bit like Noah today. And the other thing with Noah as well is that the whole point of the story is all the gods around them in Babylon and Samaria and all these other ones were like vengeful psycho gods. And the point of the Noah story is to say that, yeah, there was a flood years ago, but it doesn't matter what the Babylonian priests are saying, there isn't going to be another one now. And when you see this rainbow in the sky, that you can know that despite what all these other guys are saying, do as you're told, otherwise the flood's coming, they're lying. So that's what the whole point of it is.
But he said he wouldn't do it again, but everybody was so nasty. He wanted to wipe them all away.
Well, I think about it though. I think about it as a parent, have you ever thought to yourself, why did I bother? I think that's part of the story of God, is the father. He's there going like, why do I bother? And the clue that it's a mythological story is the fact that the guy's 600 years old and God didn't want to kill all the naughty fish either.
Well, he
So-
didn't die till he was 900 and something, did
I
he?
know, the clue is there. Why people take that, it just baffles
Well,
me.
yes,
Baffles me,
exactly. But I
baffles
was
me.
thinking,
The clue is
oh
there.
dear.
My favourite guy, I've got loads really, but one of my favourites of all is Peter. I like Peter because he's really thick, and I've identified with him recently because sometimes I can be a bit thick, and don't have to agree with that.
But I do.
Oh, cheers for that.
That's
right,
fine.
moving swiftly on. Right, the reason I like Peter, and I've always identified with Peter, is that he denied Jesus 3 times. He never understood what was going on in the gospel. He always gets it, not always, but nearly always gets it wrong. And Jesus says to him, on this rock I will build my church. And I like that. Somebody who's utterly broken, messed up, can't do the job. And sometimes, you know, I'm thinking, oh God, you know, I've really messed up. Or, oh no, this has all gone wrong. And oh, how could I do this? What's going on? Sometimes I think about Peter, and it's on someone as messed up as him. He decides to build his church. So it's great not to be perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good job.
So perhaps he can come on the night out, like, you know, you'll be Peter as well on the night out for the curry.
He'd have to buy his own rounds.
And he has to buy his own rounds. Yeah, well, he's quite minted really with his fishing business, so they have to get, we should be alright. So, we'll send in your questions and stuff, and we'll see you next time. We won't be talking about donkeys.